Hello, it is 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the launch of a support programs to assist public transport operators. The UN Security Council discussed the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Welcome to our newsroom. On the sidelines of this high-level gathering, a strategic meeting was held between the Ministry of Economy and Finance and the Vice President of the Operations of the Islamic Development Bank. The discussion is focused on reviewing the bank active portfolio in Djibouti, which currently amounts to $141 million, mainly directed towards two key areas: healthcare and urban development. Both sides agreed on a shared assessment. The projects are relevant and promising, but implementation is need to move faster. A joint acceleration plan was therefore adopted. We remain in Baku, still on the sidelines of the Islamic Development Bank's annual conference. This was the strategic meeting. The Minister of Economy and the Vice President of the Vice President of Operations of the IDB reviewed the bank's active portfolio in Djibouti, a nest egg of $141 million, primarily allocated to two pillars: health and urban development. The consensus was shared. The projects are sound, but they need to move faster. Both parties agreed on an acceleration plan. The objective to remove the remaining legal and administrative obstacles to unlock disbursement and finally deliver this vital infrastructure to the population. The launch of the activity for the 49th anniversary of the national independence as part of the National Week marking 27 June. Guled Stadium hosted yesterday afternoon the official launch ceremony of sport and cultural activities celebrating Djibouti's 49th independence anniversary. This initiative is jointly organized by the Ministry of Youth and Culture, the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, and the State Secretariat for Sports. The ceremony was attended by the Minister of Youth and Culture, His Excellency Fardousa Moussaïge, the State Secretary for Sports, His Excellency Ms. Fatouma Ali Abdallah, and the representative of the Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Abdi Dirir. Several officials from the three institutions, representatives of national sports federations, and many young people also took part in this event. This launch marks the beginning of a week of activities that will bring together young people around the sport cultures and civic values. Sports competitions, cultural performances, and awareness activities will take place throughout the countries as part of the 27 June celebrations. The government support programs for public transport operators in response to rising fuel prices. The Djiboutian government has introduced an assistance programs aimed at supporting public transport operators and reducing the impact of these increases on their activities. To ensure the implementations of this program, the Ministry of Transport, in cooperation with the Ministry of Energy, carried out a nationwide census of all taxi vehicles operating across the country. This operation has made it possible to identify eligible beneficiaries and guarantee a fair distribution of assistance. The distribution of a beneficiary card begins this afternoon at the headquarters of the Taxi Driver Union in the presence of relevant officials, including the union president, his team, and representatives of transport professionals. These cards will allow registered drivers to access subsidies fuel at major services stations across the country. This initiative reflects the Djiboutian government's commitment to supporting public transport vehicles, preserving their economic activity, and ensuring the continuity of an essential service for the population. The Nagat Police Academy hosted the closing ceremony yesterday for the international training programs organized by the International School of Civil Protection for Fire Services officers from Djibouti. several African countries and the Indian Ocean regions. The ceremony took place in the presence of the Secretary General of the Ministry of Interior, the Ambassador of Djibouti to France, Colonel Ibrahim Zakaria Sheikh Ibrahim, Director General of International Relations, Colonel Abdul Qadir Abayezid Musa, Deputy Directors of the National Directorate of Civil Protection, as well as representatives of the armed forces, the internal security forces, and partners institutions. After 20 weeks of intensive training, approximately 10 fire services officers representing 9 nationalities receiving their certificate of completion. This training aimed to strengthen the participants' skills in risk management, operational command, civil protection, and emergency response coordination. The certificate presentation marked the culminations of 20 weeks of learning, sharing experience, and strengthening cooperation between participating countries. This new class of fire service officers will contribute to strengthening national and regional systems for prevention, crisis management, and the protections of populations. For his part, Colonel Abdul Qadir Abayezid Musa, Deputy Directors of the National Directorate of Civil Protection, said that this international training program represents a major step forward in developing the skills and capabilities of our civil protection officers. It has enabled participants to acquire new knowledge in the areas of risk management, operational command, emergency response, coordination, and crisis intervention. Throughout these 20 weeks, the trainees demonstrated commitment, discipline, and professionalism. For his part, the ambassador of France to Djibouti said that these international training programs organized by the International School of Civil Protection perfectly reflect the quality and depth of the cooperation between France and Djibouti in the field of civil security. It demonstrates our shared commitment to strengthening the capacity of those responsible for protecting population against major risks. Beyond the technical skills acquired during these 20 weeks of training, this class represents a true platform for exchange, experience sharing, and closer cooperation between participating nations. Civil protection is a field that transcends borders and requires strong cooperation among countries. The officers graduated today will become key actors in risk prevention, crisis management, and emergency response. France remains fully committed alongside Djibouti and its partners to continue supporting this dynamic of training and cooperation. For his part, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Interior said that Mr. Suleiman Moumin Roble said that the closing of this international training program marks an important milestone in strengthening the capabilities of our civil protection services. It reflects the commitment of the Djiboutian authorities to developing highly qualified professionals capable of responding effectively to emergency situations and challenges related to natural and technological risks. The Ambassador Musa Jama Ali, IGAD Special Envoy to South Sudan, met with His Excellency Rebecca Yondeng Demabio, Vice President of the Republic of South Sudan. The discussions focused on the country's political situation, preparations for the electoral process, and the importance of promoting the participation and leadership of women and youth in peace building, governance, and the consolidations of stability. Ms. Rebecca Yandeng praised IGAD's continued support to South Sudan and acknowledged its contribution to promoting peace and stability in the countries. His Excellency Ambassador Musa Jama Ali, IGAD Special Envoy to South Sudan, also met with His Excellency Mr. Jakaya Kikwete, former President of Tanzania and current African Union High Representative for the Horn of Africa and the Red Sea. The consultations focused on development in the political, security, and humanitarian situation in South Sudan. The discussions addressed preparations for the elections, development in the security sector, IGAD's continued engagement in support of peace and stability, as well as the current situation and humanitarian challenges facing the country. The closing ceremony of the 24th International Investigator Development Training course at EI3PG on Wednesday, 17 June 2026 at 11 a.m. The 24th class of the International Investigator Development Training course organized by the International School for Advanced Trainings in Judicial Police Practices completed its program during a formal ceremony held in the institution's reception hall. The ceremony was chaired by Mr. Ibrahim Hussein Wa'is, Deputy Prosecutor General, in the presence of the Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden, the Prefect of the Altas Region, Hassan Dabele Ahmed, the President of the Regional Council, the representative of the National Union of Djiboutian Women, the Colonel representing the Director General of the National Police, the representative of the Commander of the Coast Guard, and the first consulars of the Embassy of France, as well as internal security attaché at the French Embassy. Many senior officers of the National Gendarmerie also attended the ceremony. These 24 classes brought together 19 trainees from 11 partner countries: Ethiopia, Tunisia, Madagascar, Cameroon, Gabon, Guinea, Conakry, Togo, Mauritania, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, Djibouti, and Cote d'Ivoire. On this occasion, the trainees received their end-of-course certificates, EI3PG badge, and symbolic gifts presented by the attending authorities. During these advanced training programs, participants strengthened their skills in key areas of judicial police work, including criminal investigations, techniques, evidence collections and analysis, interviewing witnesses and suspects, drafting judicial procedure, combating organized crime and cybercrime, as well as modern investigation method. The training enabled participants to enhance their operational capabilities while encouraging the exchanges of experience and best practices among investigators from different countries. At the end of the ceremony, trainees and officials took part in the traditional family photo. The exchanges of experience and best practices. Speaking on behalf of her colleagues, the class representative Lieutenant Mama Aissata Doucouré of the Guinean Gendarmerie highlighted the quality of the training received, as well as the warm welcomes and hospitality extended to the trainees throughout their stay. She emphasized that the knowledge and the skills acquired will significantly contribute to improving the management of complex investigations and strengthening the professional capacities of investigators in the respective countries. For his part, Colonel Hussein Mohammed Al-Qayyad, director of the EI3PG, expressed his gratitude to all instructors, speakers, and technical staff whose commitment and professionalism greatly contributed to the success of this training session. He also congratulated the trainees and wished them every success in carrying out their future responsibilities. Speaking in turn, Ibrahim Hussein Wa'is, Deputy Prosecutor General, praised the excellence of the training provided by EI3PG and its essential contribution to strengthening investigation services and improving judicial police practices. He urged the trainees to consolidate the achievement of these programs and put them at the service of their respective institutions in order to effectively address contemporary security and judicial challenges. Djiboutian Coast Guard completed the Turkish language training programs on Thursday, 18 June 2027. The official closing ceremony of the Turkish language training programs organized for the staff of the Djiboutian Coast Guard was held in partnership with the Ma'arif Foundation and under the patronage of the Embassy of the Republic of Turkey in Djibouti. This training programs is part of effort to strengthen the human and operational capacity of the Djiboutian Coast Guard. It helps improve participant language skills, which represent a strategic asset for developing international cooperation and effectively carrying out maritime security and safety missions. The closing ceremony was attended by His Excellency Erdal Sabri Ergen, Ambassador of the Republic of Turkey to Djibouti, Colonel Wa'is Omar Bore, Commander of the Djiboutian Coast Guard, and representatives of the Ma'arif Foundation, as well as several officers and senior officials. The ceremony took place in a friendly and satisfactory atmosphere, marking the successful completion of this language training. It concluded with the presentations of certificate to participants, followed by a family photo, symbolizing the shared commitment to further strengthening cooperation between the two countries. The representative of the Ma'arif Foundation highlighted the importance of this training as a means of promoting cultural rapprochement and professional development. He renewed the foundation's commitment to continue supporting training initiatives benefiting the Djiboutian Coast Guard. For his part, His Excellency the Ambassador of the Republic of Turkey congratulated the participants on their dedication and success while emphasizing the strategic importance of these training programs as a symbol of the dynamism and strength of the friendship and cooperation between the Republic of Djibouti and the Republic of Turkey. He reaffirmed his country's commitment to supporting initiatives aimed at developing skills in key sectors. In his speech, Colonel Wais Omar Boghorre, commander of the Djiboutian Coast Guard, praised the results achieved at the end of the training, highlighting the commitment and discipline of the trainees. He recalled that mastering foreign languages is a decisive factor in strengthening interoperability, facilitating exchanges with international partners, and improving operational effectiveness on the ground. He also expressed his deep gratitude to the Republic of Turkey and the Ma'arif Foundation for their continued support. Emergency health response at the heart of the assessment missions in Madgul following the exceptional weather conditions that struck the village of Madgul. A rare storm accompanied by violent winds. A multi-sectoral assessment mission was immediately deployed under the leadership of the prefect of the region, Mohammed Hamid Abbas, to evaluate the humanitarian and health situations of affected communities and guided emergency response effort. The health component was carried out by the regional hospital of the Tajura, whose Director General Dr. Nimbio personally traveled to the site, leading a multidisciplinary medical team. The storm unfortunately caused one death. 5 injured people were evacuated by ambulance to the Dora Health Center, a local facility mobilized to ensure continuity of care, while those with minor injuries received treatment directly at the scene. Beyond the trauma care, the mission also addressed the broader health needs, and medical consultations were provided to affected families, with particular attention given to the screening and management of child malnutrition. Pregnant women received prenatal consultations, and vaccination activities were conducted to prevent any potential epidemic risks. Through this rapid and coordinated response, the regional hospital of Tajura reaffirmed its role as a frontline healthcare provider for all localities in the regions, and its continued commitment alongside authorities during emergency situations, serving the health and dignity of the population. The closing of the Level 1 Coaching Certificate training course in Djibouti, the Djiboutian Athletic Federation celebrated this Friday the official closing ceremony of the Level 1 Coaching Certificate training course held from 14 to 18 June under the supervision of the State Secretariat for Sport and with the financial support from the Djiboutian National Olympic and Sports Committee. The event brought together active coaches as well as former Djiboutian athletes wishing to improve their technical and educational skills. The training, led by Mr. Hassan Saeed Ismail, national coach and World Athletics certified experts, enabled participants to acquire essential knowledge in the field of athletics. The closing ceremony, marked by the presentations of certificates, brought together several prominent figures from national sports, including Saeed Ismail Hassan, president of the Djiboutian Athletics Federation, Mohamed Omar, director of the National Agency for Sports Development, and Mr. Omar Mahabi Wais, vice president of the federation. In his speech, Mr. Saeed Ismail Hassan congratulated the participants for their commitment through the 5-day training program. He stressed the importance of applying the skills acquired in order to train and support the progress of Djiboutian athletes. He also announced the organizations of future capacity building sessions and thanked the National Olympic Committee as well as the State Secretariat for Sports for their continued support to the development of the national athletics. This initiative is part of the effort undertaken by the Djiboutian Sports Authority to professionalize technical coaching and raise the level of local athletics. the second day of the Kanano Dojo Internal Karate Championship. The second day of the Kanano Dojo Internal Championship took place yesterday evening at the Djibouti Institute of Art, IDA, in a sporting and friendly atmosphere marked by the promotions of young practitioners through technical karate competitions. The program featured demonstrations and technical matches that allowed young karate athletes to showcase their mastery of the fundamentals of the discipline. Their performances highlighted the training work carried out within the dojo and revealed several promising young talent. The event was attended by officials from the State Secretariat for Sport, including Sports Director Abshir Ali Hassan, as well as the Director of Regional Affairs Kanano Dojo President Mr. Abdul Qadir Burhan Kanano. Praised the quality of the young practitioners' technical performances, highlighting the constant efforts of coaching in training athletes and transmitting the values of karate. Many parents attended the event and encouraged the participants through the demonstrations. Their presence contributed to creating a warm and motivating atmosphere. This second day confirms the dynamism of Kanano Dojo and its role in developing young talent through a karate practice focused on techniques, disciplines, and educational values. Concerning the regional news, Kenyan president invited Arsenal to visit Kenya after Premier League celebrations. Kenyan president, the Kenyan President William Ruto, a passionate football fans and major supporters of Arsenal FC, announced that he has invited the team to visit Kenya following the major celebrations. For the international scene, Mexico, Canada, and Switzerland win at FIFA World Cup, while South Africa and Czech Republic through the 2026 FIFA World Cup delivered another series of exciting group stage matches yesterday. Mexico, Canada, and Switzerland secured important victories, while South Africa and the Czech Republic shared the point after a draw. Mexico achieved a valuable 1-0 victories over South Korea. Thanks to this win, the Mexican team strengthened its chances of reaching the next round and collected 3 important points. Canada produced one of the tournament's most impressive performances by defeating Qatar 6-0. For the international scene, UN Security Council is review this humanitarian crisis in Gaza 7 months after adoption of US-backed plane. The United Nations Security Council is meet to discuss the worsening humanitarian situation in the Gaza Strip 7 months after approving a US-backed plane aimed at ending the conflict. During the meeting, Council members assessed the development on the ground, as well as the growing humanitarian needs of the civilian population, particularly regarding food supplies, medical care, drinking water, and essential services. Several humanitarian organizations accused Israel of obstructing the delivery of aid to Gaza, stating that restrictions on humanitarian access have worsened the suffering of the population and complicated relief operations. Israel rejected these accusations and blamed Hamas for the situation. Israeli authorities said the Palestinian movement was disrupting humanitarian aid distributions and contributing to the deterioration of conditions on the ground. The meeting comes as an international calls increase for secure and sustainable humanitarian access to Gaza, while diplomatic efforts continue to find a solution capable of ending hostility and reducing humanitarian crisis in the Palestinian enclaves. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.